In this episode, Helium 10's Shivali Patel sits down with e-commerce expert Leo Segovia to discuss how AI is reshaping e-commerce, particularly for Amazon sellers. This and more on today's episode.
How cool is that? Pretty cool, I think. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Serious Sellers Podcast by Helium 10. I'm your host, Bradley Sutton, and this is the show that's completely BS-free, unscripted, and unrehearsed, organic conversation about serious strategies for serious sellers of any level in the e-commerce world.
Hello, welcome. My name is Shivali Patel. I'm a senior brand evangelist at Helium 10, and I'm here with Leo Segovia, who is an Amazon seller as well as the founder of Spliced. How are you, Leo?
Hello, Shivali. It's good to see you. I'm fine. How are you?
Good. I'm good too. Well, I'm really excited about today because we were talking about a very sexy topic that everybody's really excited about. It's changed a lot. I remember 2 years ago, I tried to generate some images and I had like 6 fingers, maybe 10, I don't know. But we've come a long way since. And because of that, I want to pick your brain on all things AI and how it is most implementable into the business.
Amazing. It's one of my favorite topics. Hasn't that changed, right?
Yeah, it has. It has. Thinking about selling on TikTok Shop? Or maybe you are already in it and you're ready to scale. Unlock all of Helium 10's brand new TikTok Shop tools with our Diamond Plan. Everything from bulk Amazon to TikTok listing conversions to instant Amazon MCF fulfillment. Best of all, you use the code TT10 to get 10% off Diamond for 6 months, even if you've used a coupon before. So go ahead and upgrade and let Helium 10 do all the heavy lifting for you so you can focus on what really matters. For more info on our new TikTok Shop offerings, visit h10.me/TikTok. I'll see you there. How have things changed from when you first entered Amazon to now, where you do have access to AI that boosts the efficiency and really helps you build your brand's moat?
I think the most important shift and change is that we used to do everything manually. We had to figure out, and we had to have a team. And so scalability was an issue, right? Imagine like you're starting a brand and you have a limited budget, but now you need budget for your images, budget for your listing, budget for sourcing products, budget for pretty much everything you're doing. Well, right now with AI, you can outsource pretty much all of this stuff, and it's costing you a couple of $100 and so that is what I think a big opportunity, of course, but what changed the most. So that allows you now to build a 7-8 figure possibly brand with 2-3 people team. Like, you don't need a big team. Before, we used to have a lot of VAs in the Philippines to do all of this work. So I think that's the major change that I've seen over the past few years, for sure.
Amazing. Let's break that down a little bit because I want to talk end-to-end creation, starting from product research. After that, you have SEO stuff going on, keyword research. You're building out that listing. You're creating the ads. How does AI play a role in each of those sectors, starting with product research?
Well, look, I think what we're seeing every day on LinkedIn posts or pretty much everywhere around us is within the graphic space, right? A huge shift from like graphic, anything graphic related made by humans to AI generated videos or content or UGC content today. So that is the really, I think, number one change, right? When it comes to what we are currently using AI for. And then when it comes to the listing itself, I mean, you guys have a great tool, the AI Listing Builder. And like the fact that you can just press a button and say, generate it for me or write the listing for me using an image as an input, to me is like next level, right? It's a huge evolution and innovation. And so, I think these are probably the top 2 things. With ChatGPT, there's so much you can do, from product research, audience analysis. Like, we worked on scale stories together.
Yes.
Like, we recorded these amazing episodes. One of the things that we were trying to actually prove is that you can still launch a product on Amazon with $5,000 budget. Back in 2015, you probably needed 500. Now it's 5,000, but that's still, a very small investment considering the kind of size of business you can build in today's world. And what we did there was finding a product from scratch. So we were able to find a product with ChatGPT. We were able to find the right audience, also diversify the type of product that we were going to launch. So in one day, we really had a go-to-market plan using AI tools. And before, we probably going to take us a couple of weeks to figure that out.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, I'd have to do all the work manually. You're finding the keywords, you're surfing the website, you're trying to write it down. And so much of that has gone away, and you really can hire a team without hiring a team, do it yourself in ways that you would have never imagined before.
Exactly.
Yeah. I will say there's also, for example, the listing builder aspect that you talked about. I just want to touch on a little bit more in case those of you that are watching or listening in don't know about it. You can go in and actually create entire listings, especially if you're somebody who's not used to doing copywriting or actually doing any sort of writing, right? It's a creative skill set. And so being able to go in, input in your keywords, phrases, generate entire listings, you can do so much with that. You can also do keyword translations. So you're expanding into marketplaces. I think that really eases things off because I don't know any Italian or Spanish or yes, you can. But not everybody has a guiding teacher for Italian. You might have to go in and do keyword translations.
I agree. I mean, doing that with a tool like yours, I think is a huge help, obviously, for Amazon sellers looking to expand internationally. And Amazon has put together a lot of also great tools that help Amazon sellers today. I think when it comes to the listing itself, today we are in a totally different position. From the images to videos to the description of the product itself, we can have an excellent listing done using AI or with the AI support that before probably will take us, a full day, I would say, to figure out. I think, one thing that I would like to mention though is that I wouldn't completely outsource all of these to AI because you still need to be in the middle there and ensuring, especially right now, you saw Rufus, right? This AI assistant that is helping shoppers purchase products. You probably were going to ask me that question.
Yeah, that was my next question.
Yeah, so you want to make sure that you are writing listings with an intent behind the title or the keywords, because now searches are intent-based. They're kind of going their way, right, that direction, instead of keyword only. And so, AI is good, but AI needs also instructions to write using semantics, for example, or intent-based bullet points. And so that is one thing that us as humans utilizing these tools need to be aware of. And so it's kind of like right now everybody's scared of AI, right? How will AI replace me? I don't think people should be thinking if AI will replace them. They should be thinking, how can AI use me to become better or to excel at my job, right? And so when you combine these two things together, I think you are a much stronger seller overall.
Yeah, I had two questions while you were chatting about that. I'm trying to remember if I can retain them.
Yeah.
One, when you were trying to prompt an artificial intelligence model, how would you make sure that the brand story or the brand voice is retained so that way you're not building or crafting a very generic listing?
Yeah. So, Shivali, the way I did it actually while recording scale stories, so it was a recent episode or use case, we were looking, first of all, we needed to understand who the audience was and all the keywords. So we started with the keywords. We used Cerebro with Helium 10, and then we fed all these keywords to AI. We used ChatGPT. And after that, we looked at the output. So we asked the AI to generate a listing for us. But one thing that it was important is that we wanted to also make sure that the brand story was kind of like explained and told inside the listing. And at that point, we told ChatGPT what the story was as well. And so he rewrote the listing in a way that made a lot more sense because you want to connect with your audience. You want to connect with the purchase, with the buyers, right? And so it did already a really good job in including those kind of like brand unique value propositions that you want people to know about you. For example, in that case, we wanted to donate some of the revenue, the profit, to a charity, right? So we wanted to make sure that ChatGPT knew that, so that when we wrote the listing, there was also some sort of mention to that. But ultimately, I think before this listing goes and gets published on Amazon, you want to review it and ensuring that it speaks your language and it resonates with your audience. So it's a combination of manual plus AI work, but it definitely minimizes the time spent on this task specifically.
I would say perhaps you have to put in the time upfront to
Yeah.
provide it with the context so that it's not outputting something that's really generic. You can have something very specific to
Right.
what you're outputting.
Yeah, you want to be very specific at the beginning because you can have these AI agents act as anything really. It can be an accountant, it can be a data researcher, it can be a doctor, it can be anything. So the more context and in your prompt, the more details you give, the
Right.
better the output will be, right? So in that case, we not only give the keywords, we asked to act as this person expert in healing, because the actually tool, the product we found was healing forks. Those, have you ever heard of that?
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
it's a fork. They make a sound when you tap
Oh, the
them.
tuning fork.
It's a tuning fork.
The
Yes,
tuning fork.
yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And so the whole story around that was to help people heal with like sound waves and frequencies. And you cannot do that just by researching keywords. You need to know the space. And ChatGPT helped us discover the space in a few hours, understand exactly who was buying it, who was the potential buyer, were we going for chiropractors or for like the general market, or could we find a product that is serves a combination of both? And we couldn't do that without AI. Or it had to take us a few iterations, like launching maybe version 1 and then see what the market responds and maybe launch a variation later. Now this time around, instead with AI, we know exactly what sells or what could potentially be appealing. And so we created a product that has a much higher chance to succeed once we launch it.
Let's go back,
Yeah.
take the conversation back to Rufus for a second, because another thing that I remember, the second thing I wanted to ask you from before, which was a lot of folks are playing into Rufus and saying you need to future-proof your listings. Well, what about the traditional keyword strategies that have worked up until now? What's your take on that?
Yeah. So first of all, I love Rufus and I love where Amazon is going and the direction that they're going with this. But I just want to say we don't know yet. Amazon has never officially told us what the utilization is today between the traditional search bar and Rufus, right? And there's a lot of rumor, there's a lot of hype out there in our space, in our community, by people that have done a lot of research saying that Rufus works in a certain way. And what I would say is traditional search is probably driving still 80-90% of the conversions, of the sales currently occurring on Amazon.com. That's just what I believe. And so, yes, it's important to focus on Rufus and the optimization, the way that we write the listings, because ultimately Rufus is acting as this shopping assistant, right? And people are asking questions. So instead of typing on the search bar winter coat, they're typing in what's the best winter coat for New York, or for to keep me warm in and minus 30 degrees. And so the way you write your listing right now it should be different. It's intent based. You're answering questions, right, in your listing versus just stuffing your title and bullet points with a bunch of keywords. Okay, so that I would say get ready for it. Like start writing the listing so that you can not only feed the engine what it needs. So add your keywords that you found with Helium 10, put them in your listing, but add it in a way so that they answer a potential question that someone is asking Rufus. That's what I think the best utilization of it should be today, instead of just going Rufus 100%, and then you're missing out on a bunch of keywords that perhaps you cannot cover in a contextual way. Because not everybody understands semantics and all of that, right? So I think perhaps one of the tools that we could develop or Amazon can make available is that, right? Because Rufus is a Q&A kind of engine, like ChatGPT, Perplexity, all of those. And but sellers are not there yet, because it's a mental exercise, right? How can I say the same thing? Usually, what I do, I go to ChatGPT. I say, "This is my title, traditional title," and I say, "Now rewrite it in a semantic way that doesn't include the keywords." If I can read the title without the keywords and I still understand what type of product that is, then I got ChatGPT to do what I wanted to do. And so sellers need to think this way in order to write listings that also now feed the right kind of like information to Rufus. And so ultimately it comes down to the back end, the attributes and all of that. But instead of saying winter coat, feather goose, right? Goose feathers, you would rather say winter coat, with goose feathers. This winter coat stuffed or filled with goose feathers will keep you warm during the coldest winter, something like that. So if someone is asking Rufus, what's the best winter coat for a cold winter, will probably show up. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think this plays very adjacent to the context conversation we were having before. Give it really good context, and it'll do really well for you. Especially because I don't know if you know about this, but Amazon Lens Live also launched for consumers. This is not the seller side of things, but you can take your phone and scan something, and it'll actually show a product as well as the Q&A from Rufus for it, which again kind of plays back in for us as sellers, where the consumer experience is improving, which hopefully means more sales for us, but also the importance of actually making sure that, yes, you're doing your traditional strategies for the ranking and the indexing, but you're also keeping in the back of your mind that the semantics are there and that you're providing a holistic view of everything. Yeah. And what about ads? Do you have any AI applications for ads that you've heard of or that you're utilizing?
Yeah, so look, for ads, we use your tool, we use Helium 10. We do a lot of manual work when it comes to advertising. But I think, now with AI, the real-time optimization is a lot more efficient, I would say, than before. Like there is this, obviously I can understand in real time what's happening. What I think a cool tool would be, if I had to wish for something cool, like in Seller Central, would be like an AI-powered, for example, recommendation engine that looks at your listing, your performance, your ads, and says, hey, do you know that if you increase this keyword by 20 cents, you can get this many more sales? Right now, that exercise is done kind of like manually. Like you have to go in and increase the bid, but based on, for example, market factors, such as your competitor is out of stock. AI knows that. Hey, increase the bid because your competitor is out of stock. You can capitalize on the sales right now, right? So things like that, I think, could be really, really useful right now for sellers. And we have already the tools to being able to get or to maximize our sales and opportunity on the platform. So that's, by the way, one thing that I think would be cool. But when it comes to ads itself, I think right now there are a lot of cool tools already that have implemented and adopted AI, especially when it comes to bidding optimization. But they don't look at things like what I just mentioned. Only Amazon can do that, right? Or perhaps they can if they see that a product is out of stock. But there are specific use cases where I think having that coming straight from Amazon would be super useful.
Yes, definitely directly from Amazon. I look forward to that happening in the future. I will say Helium 10 does offer AI advertising. So if any of you that are listening in are newbie sellers and you're not entirely sure how to approach ads, that's a really great place to go and start because you can choose your objective. You can choose whether you want a shared budget, fixed budget for individual product types, and then kind of go in and put in your keywords and negate whatever you feel is not relevant for you or hasn't done well for you, and you know that. So that is a good starting place for, of course, there's plenty of suite of tools that are empowered by AI, and Helium 10 is definitely one of them that I will represent. But yeah, I think just to close it out, let's kind of recap what we talked about. And maybe if you want to do a sign off of like 2 or 3 implementable things that somebody that's listening in could do right now if they already have their SKUs up and listed on Amazon.
Yeah, look, the number one thing I will do, I think, is leveraging AI for the graphic aspect of your listing. So anything that today you were doing it through Photoshop or graphic designers, try to leverage AI and do as many A/B tests, split test your images, split test your videos, split test your content, because that, like even a 0.1 or a 1% increase in conversion rates can mean big numbers for some sellers. And so today you can do that, before you could not, right? Or at least you need a bigger budget. So I would say leverage AI for that, number one. the listing itself, like using tools like yours, the listing builder, like also play with the text in your listing, so the bullet point. There was one thing that I was thinking about with regards to AI use cases today, but it doesn't matter. I don't remember right now. I think the top two, if someone does it today, it can dramatically increase their business.
Split
sales.
testing and listing.
Yeah. Play with the images, the graphics, and then the content itself for sure.
Yeah. What I would recommend, I guess my 2 or 3 would be, yes, I agree with you. Split testing is amazing because even the smallest conversion change can do numbers for your business. And that's what you want, which all kind of funnels back to what's inside of your listing. So how well is your context that's actually in the listing? Your ads as well, making sure that your ads are on point. You can do that with AI advertising, as I mentioned, instead of Helium 10. Plus, we have rules-based automation, which is really, really cool because you can go in and say, hey, I've gotten 30 clicks, but 0 sales. So can you make sure that we're not spending any more money on that? So you can go in and automate all of this stuff, which is efficient, right? So
the third things. The third thing.
Well, is your third first or is my third first?
Go your third, and then I go. Yeah, I close up.
And my third thing is, well, if you were already selling on Amazon, what's really cool that Helium 10 can do is you can also automate your listings and convert them over to TikTok Shop, which creates a halo effect to your Amazon listings. I have talked to so many sellers who are like, oh yeah, I'm selling on Amazon. And then they bulk convert their listings, link the products. You don't have to have product at TikTok Shop. You can keep your product at all of your inventory, at the Amazon warehouses, link them, map it out. So that way you have a safety stock. Your Amazon momentum is always good. If you go viral, I hope you guys go viral. And then you have that halo effect because anybody that sees that product on TikTok Shop, there's going to be a lot of them that also want Prime shipping. Yeah. And so they come back and you find all that increased traffic. And of course, Amazon loves increased traffic and we love the additional sales. So I would also recommend that as my third is make sure you guys, if you're going to think about expanding out to marketplaces, use the resources available to you like keyword translations, like the listing builder and like the automated function for TikTok Shop. Back to your third.
Yeah, just to wrap it up, I just wanted to give away like a hack, let's call it this way. Do use Rufus to do competitive analysis because Rufus is a powerful data mine today. And so ask questions about your own product as well as your competitor product. See why Rufus is recommending your competitors instead of your product and try to leverage that information to optimize your listing so that Rufus can index your listing better and then mention you instead. I think that's a powerful one that a lot of people today are kind of underutilizing. Rufus answers a lot of questions based on reviews. So see what your customers think of you. That's a good way. Before we used to use Helium 10 or other tools, to download the reviews, understand the kind of like feelings behind some reviews, negative the sentiment kind of behind the feedback there. But today we have Rufus that can do that for us. So that was my third one.
Amazing. Well, with that, I think we're going to close out. You guys should have gotten plenty of actionable tips to go and implement. Of course, you can listen to us talk all day long, but it really comes down to whether you're applying it in your business. And so if I could recommend anything to you is make sure that the things that we talked about here, you go and do at least one tonight. With that, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Leo and Shivali, for sharing so much incredible information. I loved hearing how AI is completely transforming Amazon selling, and your discussion about optimizing for intent with Rufus and using AI to test, translate, and scale listings really showed how sellers can boost their sales and keep their brand successful on the Amazon platform. One of the things that you mentioned is using Helium 10 to instantly get your Amazon listings live on TikTok Shop. So here's Shivali again with a quick demo of how that works.
How to convert your Amazon listings to TikTok Shop in seconds. Why is this important and how can it make you money? Now, we've been talking about it for a while now. TikTok Shop offers a massive opportunity for Amazon sellers, especially in the USA. Some sellers are able to match their Amazon sales within a couple months, you guys, or even surpass them. That could be you next. But the big complaint in the early days of TikTok was, I don't know what makes a good TikTok listing. I don't want to have to download all my Amazon images one by one, listing per listing, and upload them to TikTok. And I don't know how to to optimize my listing. TikTok doesn't even do bullet points. So what the heck do I do with my Amazon bullet points? Well, that is where the TikTok listing converter from Helium 10 comes in. What we do is we take all your Amazon listings and in seconds publish them to TikTok Shop. That's right. We completely got rid of a reason for you to complain. So here is how you can do that. Go inside of the tool. This is for any Diamond members and up. Go to listing optimization and then listing converter. It's going to show you all the listings that are in your Amazon account. And after that, hit the next step. Once your products show up, you just want to select as many as you want to actually convert over and then select bulk convert. And there you have it. Within 30 seconds or less, your listings are now up on TikTok. That doesn't guarantee sales. There are other tools from Helium 10 to help you with that, but imagine all the time that we just saved together. It takes 30 seconds to do what would have taken 30 minutes or more in any other scenario. And we're even using AI to optimize your listing for TikTok Shop. We're not just copying and pasting your Amazon title or bullet points, which TikTok does not even use. We're using AI to optimize based on best practices for TikTok Shop listings. So make sure you've got your Amazon listings converted and I'll catch you on TikTok Shop.
Thank you so much for that, Shivali. Now, what's the next step that Leo and Shivali talked about for getting set up on TikTok Shop? It's actually tying your inventory to Amazon FBA via MCF so that your TikTok orders can be fulfilled with your FBA inventory. So Shivali is going to talk about how to do that in this clip.
How do you connect your Amazon FBA products to your TikTok Shop products so that Amazon can fulfill those orders? And more importantly, why is this such a big deal and how can it actually make you money? Maybe you already have all of your TikTok listings live and ready to sell, but here's the problem. You don't have your own warehouse. You don't want to store boxes of inventory at your house. So how are you supposed to ship when orders come in? The answer, my friends, is Amazon MCF or multi-channel fulfillment. This is where Amazon takes care of shipping for your non-Amazon orders, whether they are coming from TikTok, from Walmart, from Shopify, or anywhere else. Here is where it gets exciting. With Helium 10, you can set this up in seconds. All you need to do is map your Amazon SKU to your TikTok Shop SKU. That way, as soon as that order hits TikTok, Amazon instantly receives that order and handles everything from picking, packing, shipping, all the way to delivering. No more manually creating orders, checking tracking numbers, or updating statuses. It's all automated. Inside of Helium 10's inventory management, you will see your TikTok Shop SKUs and just link each one to the correct Amazon SKU. Alternatively, you can click the drop down in the right-hand side of your account dashboard and select connections. That is going to take you into that inventory management section where you can do the same exact thing. You can even set a safety stock buffer so TikTok only pulls inventory down to a threshold that you are comfortable with. Plus, you can decide if you want Amazon to send orders standard, expedited, or priority. And the bottom line is you get to do it all selling on TikTok without ever touching your inventory yourself, while Amazon handles the fulfillment behind the scenes. It's speed, automation, scalability, all built into Helium 10.
Okay, everyone. So there you have it. Lots of incredible tips from Shivali and Leo on AI, advertising, TikTok Shop, and more. And I hope you guys can implement these to help boost your sales this Q4. Thanks for tuning in and see you on the next episode.